Have you ever noticed that the numbers on Google Analytics don't match the numbers on your hosting dashboard? There's actually a good reason for this. The short answer is that they're tracking different things in different ways. But let's dive a little deeper. The statistics in your hosting dashboard, which I'll refer to as server stats, are going to be the most technically accurate because every unique IP address that loads a page typically counts as a visit. Now, some hosts will exclude certain common or known bots, but others will include everything. That's because the server cares about the actual load being generated by the website. On the other hand, Google Analytics doesn't care about the server load. It's trying to figure out what is a human visit versus a bot, and so it doesn't count everything. In order for Google Analytics data to be useful when making marketing decisions, such as figuring out how successful an ad campaign is, then you need to be able to trust that those numbers correspond to real human visitors and that they aren't inflated by bots. Now, even though Google is very good at doing this, the number of real human visits is usually underreported due to factors outside of Google's control. For example, if a person has disabled cookies in their browser, then Google is never going to know that a visit took place. The same thing can happen if JavaScript is disabled, or if there's a browser extension that blocks third-party scripts, or even if there's an overly zealous IT department between the user and the website. I had this discussion with a client recently. He mentioned his site was feeling slow, so I looked at the server stats. I told him he was starting to exceed the amount of bandwidth and visits that we had provisioned his website for, and this was likely the issue. I mentioned there were over 50,000 visits in the past month. Well, he immediately checked Google Analytics and said, "Where are you seeing that? I only see about 3,000 or 4,000. Now, the discrepancy for your website may not be as large. It all depends on how many bots are targeting your site. We usually think of bots as bad, and to be fair, most of them probably are, but there are good ones too. Think of the web crawlers from Google, Bing, and Yahoo that are indexing the internet so that you can have everything at your fingertips. You can't really stop bots from submitting requests for your site, but you can identify and block malicious requests when they come in. That's why it's important to have a web application firewall along with a way to blacklist IP addresses and user agents. And of course, you want to make sure that your site is hardened and up to date so that you won't fall victim to security exploits. So the next time there's a discrepancy between what your webmaster is telling you and what you are seeing in your analytics dashboard, just remember that those numbers will never match, and now you know why.